Good morning. Welcome to our team call. We're so glad you're here. I always like to point out the synergy that happens when we're all together. It's more than the sum of the individual parts. And I always feel stronger when I'm with you guys, and I appreciate everybody in our group. Today, we get to listen to training from, sorry, my wheel on my mouse is just a little bit more sensitive than I think. Michael Huggins is going to be our trainer this morning. Here is a guy that is just amazing. And the word that comes to mind this morning for Michael is fearless. Look at those brown eyes and that confident smile. He just takes on anything. And I think if there is a fear, he has learned the secret of turning that into a strength, just like Michaela Omer did in the Money Matrix video this morning. She got stung by bees, developed a fear of bees. She turned that strength around and is now saving the bees. She has found a strength and has turned that into a profit. So far, she's had $1 million for every year she's been alive is the profit that she's made. Michael has done very well too. And I'll tell you what, if you want to be successful, listen to Michael, emulate what Michael's doing. It's not always easy. Michael knows it's not always easy, but it is possible, and he's proved that. Michael, good morning. We're so glad you're with us.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ron. Thanks for the intro. All right, it's Money Monday. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get to work. Got another busy week ahead of us. And hopefully you guys are taking it seriously, because if we stay focused this fourth quarter, ooh, buddy, we got some exciting stuff for you. So for those of you who are brand new, welcome to the call. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if those of you who are returning, good job. Keep showing up. Consistency is the name of the game. People always ask me, how do I produce such results? And then they just look at me and I smile, and then they go, oh, you're consistent. That's right, consistent. Speaking of consistency, I would like to reward you guys, those of you who are being consistent. What we've done is Vanessa and I have put together the Extra Mile Sales Contest. And here's what we're going to do is between October 1st and December 31st, you earn between 1 and 10,000. We're going to give you high fives at nationals. If you earn between 10 and 20,000 between October 1st, then we'll get you a set of steak knives and or eggplant knives, depending on your preference of what you like to kill. Then, if you earn between 20 and 35,000, then we're going to get you tickets to nationals, front row tickets. Maybe second row, frontish. They're going to be right towards the front. You get where all the action is, all the excitement, best views, best place to take notes, best way to connect with other people sitting up front. All right. Then between 30 and 50,000 is an iPad or Surface Pro. So you guys can get that money, use these tools, stay organized with your business, watch your classes, put up PowerPoints, put in orders, all of that right there. If you're in between 50 and 75,000 between October 1st and December 31st, Vanessa and I will, if you're on our team, we're getting your overrides, take you on a 5-day trip to Hawaii. Now, again, if you're not on my team, you need to be talking to your 5-star and saying, this is my goal, this is what I'm going after, why don't you do it with me? And let's go play together. We're going to have a Renatus instructor there. We're going to be able to focus on our marketing and our real estate and relaxing all at the same time. It's going to be a beautiful thing. So stay focused. Some of you guys looking at the numbers are already halfway to Hawaii. It's working, guys. So stay focused. Between the $75,000 and $100,000 mark is a John Maxwell coaching and mentoring membership. This is worth several $1,000s just up front, and then the added value of continuing to be a part of this group, the training you get, the people you get to associate with. It's going to be huge for your business, for your communication, and for recruiting. And then after that, after the 7,500K mark, anyone over $100,000 is going to go spend a 10-day trip in France, Switzerland, and Germany. We're going to go see two 24-hour races. We're going to go play in the Swiss Alps. We're going to go have a bunch of fun. This includes airfare, accommodations, tickets, 2 activities in Switzerland, and we're going to be having a film crew taking some shots and recording this epic event so that we can turn this into more marketing for the summer. So this will be in June 14th through the 25th. Okay, this is what we're working on, guys, so stay focused. Come with us. This is the Extra Mile Sales Contest. All right, now let's get into our Money Monday. I want to share a couple training ideas with you. There we go. There we are. Rightio, mate. Right. Do. All right, just remember, you don't need your camera on to join. All right, here we go. Welcome, Money Monday. Let's get started. Oh. Okay. All right, while we're doing this, I got to go to the Arizona Regionals over the weekend. How many of you guys were there? Was that awesome or what? Well, at the Arizona Regionals, we had 2.5 days of incredibleness. And being able to see the team step up, the size of the team that's over there now is incredible. The way that everyone's working together is awesome. And how many real estate awards you guys were giving out? It was very impressive. Very, very impressive. Here we go. Now this should work. Okay. Yeah, Keely was there, Simone was there, Merle was there, Iris was there. You guys already know. That was awesome. All right, now if I could share here. Now what we're going to do is share here. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about how to phrase your downsell. So a lot of you have been talking to your customer and you know they're like, "Well, I'd like to get this combo, but I think I'm just going to get an essentials instead." And then before you know it, they backed out entirely because they just went down step to out. Now how do we prevent this stuff? Well, I was having a conversation. Man, I'd really like to draw for you. Let me see what's up here. I thought this was okay. This one, share. Okay, so over the weekend, or 2 weekends ago, I did a follow-up with this lady who, wants to make a change, wants to maintain this abundance mindset, and was having a hard time wrapping her mind around spending money and having an abundance mindset. So I talked to her some more and basically reminded her that abundance is not a certain amount. It's not a dollar amount in your bank account. Abundance is a mindset. It doesn't matter what's in your bank account. You can still have that abundance mindset. And we're talking about the phrasing and the difference between, what was it? We were talking about, okay. It was had to do with essentials, and it wasn't like so many people are saying it wrong that I want to talk about it today, but then I just forgot about. How do people say it wrong again? I don't say it that way, but I heard you guys, some of you guys saying it, and I was like, wait a minute, that's no wonder they're backing out. So how was it? Okay. Essentials versus combo. Keely, we were talking about this. Will you remind me what we were saying? There's a difference in the phrasing.
Hey, Michael.
Hey.
Was it regarding the two people?
Yes, that's what it was.
So it's for two people versus,
okay.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about learning partners, thank you. Okay, so a lot of people, this is what it was. That lady I was talking to, she was like, oh, I don't want to spend $2,000. That's a lot. I think I'm going to go get someone to go halvesies on it with me. I want someone to go halvesies. And I looked at her, and then I looked at the other IMA we were with, and I was like, halvesies? What? You want to share half your wealth? You want to share half of everything? And she's like, no, I just want to split the cost. I just want to split the cost. I'm going to go halvesies. And I realized that it has to do with the phrasing that people are hearing when they're hearing this thing about learning partner. I get 1 or 2 people a year that say this to me. 1 to 2 people a year are saying, well, I don't know if I want it. I have the money, but I want to go halvesies on it. I want someone else to split it with me. I seriously hear that like 1 to 2 times a year in my market. But then when I travel around, I hear this all the time. I hear all these people where I ask them, hey, did you get your combo? Did you get your combo? Did you get signed up yet? And they're like, oh, no, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. And then I look at them and I give them this funny face like, what on earth are you waiting for? We got a team here. We got the education ready. You have a need because look at your bank account. Look at your tax rate. Look at your mortgage. You have a need. What are you waiting for? What the hell are you talking about waiting? And they're like, oh, yeah, I want to go halvesies on this with somebody, and I haven't found some yet. Well, no wonder you haven't found anyone yet. You're acting scared as can be. Scared money don't make no money. Didn't you know this? So this whole I want to go halvesies on it is all just fear manifest. Right? These people are afraid, and we say, okay, cool. Well, if you're afraid, we can mitigate some of that fear by letting you know it will only cost you half. It'll only cost you half if you go and find someone to go halvesies on it with you. And now we've given them permission to delay. So here's the phrasing I want to change. There's a difference between it's for 2 people. It's for 2 people versus you can assign a learning partner for free. It's for 2 people versus you can assign a learning partner for free are 2 totally different ways of telling people the feature and benefit that Bob built in of having a learning partner. You can have a learning partner for free, or you can wait for someone else to be just as scared as you and only have half the money, and maybe then it'll work. Now, come on, guys. So this whole it's for 2 people thing, this is what she got in her head. She goes, well, now I need to wait, right? I need to wait. I need to find someone. And so I was sitting there for a second. I was like, okay, well, I guess, but how about this instead? What if you just bought it? What if you just enrolled and then went around and said, who wants my membership? Who like half on my membership? And then that's when I realized she heard it wrong. She thought it's for 2 people. And here I am trying to tell her, no, you get a learning partner for free. Okay, so when she had this mindset, it has seriously been almost 2 months. She's been waiting and looking. She's come to many events. And then when we see her, we gotta avoid that whole, hey, did you find your money yet? Remember a month ago we talked about the conversation, what makes up the majority of the conversation? Or are you getting your money, or are we focusing on your bright future? Remember that? Okay, for those of you who don't remember, we did a quick little what is going on? Little comparison between what comes out of our mouth and this way, or what comes out of our mouth like this. Okay, two different language patterns. This one is saying, as soon as you have the money, we can build your future. Okay, and we have this big portion of our conversation talking about the future, and this smaller portion talking about going to get your money. This is ideal. This is what I would like you guys to work on. But what I hear too much of is people saying, did you get your money yet? Did you get your money yet? Did you get your money yet? Hey, it's been a month. Did you get your money yet? Hey, as soon as you get your money, I can have it. Did you get your money yet? Did you get your money yet? Did you get your money yet? And then a little bit about the bright future. Then your future. So there's a little bitty future here, and then the IMA is just talking so much about, did you get your money yet? Did you get your money yet? Did you get your money yet? Okay, that's bad, bad, bad. We want to avoid this. So I'm trying to avoid this situation, and every time I meet this new prospect, and she's saying, I'm waiting for 2 people. And so literally the next step in our conversation is, did you get your money yet? It's so annoying. It's so annoying. So now here we are. She thinks it's for 2 people. She's going to get someone to get half her money. She has the money in her bank account, but she won't get it because she's trying to wait. And so she's forcing me in a conversational position where I got to say, did you get your money yet? So every time I see her, I still avoid that, and I stay focused on this portion of it. This is what I'm staying focused on because we want to build a bright future. But in the back of both of our minds, we're both knowing and waiting and wondering, did you get your money yet? Okay? So this is what I'm saying. And it happens so rare to me that I didn't think to bring it up. But now with all this traveling around regionals, I'm seeing a lot of people, and I'm talking to a lot of guests that are waiting for that second person. So please change your phrasing. Please change your phrasing so you can assign a learning partner for free, and stop saying it's for 2 people. It's for 2 people creates waiting. It creates that conversation. What are we going to call that? What could we call this as an idea? Just so I can say, we're going to blank, and now you guys remember this whole idea. What are we going to refer to this as? Future breath versus commission breath. How about that? What do you guys think about that? Future focus versus commission focus. And we don't even receive commissions in this company. We receive earnings. Earnings focus. Okay. So we're going to stay in future focus when we're talking to these people. But what happens is if you keep saying it's for two people, then you end up getting into the earnings focus. Okay, and then now their mindset is all focused on spending money, spending. That's gonna be like, hey, look, don't worry about it being 20 grand. I know that sounds like a lot. Just go get a friend and they'll spend 10 grand with you. And now it's focusing on lack. It's focusing on scarcity. So yes, it is for two people, technically, but what I've seen is this phrasing has a detrimental effect on our sales. If we switch it to you can add a learning partner for free, then you get something totally different. I'll tell you what happens if you do this whole you can assign a learning partner for free thing. What will happen is I had a guy enroll. His name is Mark. Okay, now Mark, super broke, super in a position to where he saw what we had to offer, he knew his capacity, he knew he had the skill set and the mindset, he just didn't have the knowledge. So here's what he did. He was so broke that he had to use UGA Essentials, and he was so, I guess we'll say, behind the times when it comes to banking and finance and marketing that he didn't even have a bank account. He was so behind on money stuff and so confused around money that he didn't have his own, didn't have a bank account. So he puts down, he gets $425 for a cashier's check, $125 for another cashier's check. Okay? So some of you are sitting around knowing you got bank accounts, not taking care of your guests because you're thinking, wow, Mark, look, you get a learning partner for free. You go give $200, make them get $200, now you can get started. No. Stop selling it like that. Here's what I told him. I said, Mark, you know now that you have your account set up, so we mentioned learning partner, we always mention it, but it's not a focus of the sale. There's a certain point when you bring it up. So here with Mark, I said, Mark, you know you get a second person included in your membership. He was like, really? And I said, well, who would you like to include? Who would you like to do business with? Who would you like to build your business with? And he said, you know who I really want to build my business with is my mom. I said, really? Tell me about your mom. He said, well, my mom works from home. She's got a big passion for her community, and she likes to volunteer. And she's one of the smartest people I know, and I think she'd be a great learning partner. So here I am. We got our first sale, right? We got the sale, and Mark was a roll-up to me. So it was more important to me, if you think about it, the guy that he was referred to, okay, this guy's name is Mike. Well, Mike is wondering, does the comp plan really work? If I send someone through the system, am I really going to get money? And so when I sat down with Mark, and I'm realizing, wow, Mark's not bringing much money, doesn't have a bank account, doesn't have a credit score. His credit score was a single-digit number. So we had a challenge. So I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking for two things. I'm thinking, one, I got to help Mark get started, and two, I got to help Mike get paid. So we got the essentials in. Then after we got the order in, money's in, and I know Mike is getting paid, then we said, all right, Mike, or Mark, who would you like to build with? He said, I want to work with my mom. I think she would be awesome. I said, tell me about her. So what I did was I bam-fammed. What I did was I booked a meeting from that meeting with the mom. So let's get mom on the phone. Let's book a meeting with mom. And next week, we sat down with mom and dad. So mom and dad show up to the meeting. And we got Mark there. We're so excited. And so now with mom and dad sitting there, I'm asking them, what did you like best about what Mark shared with you? What have you liked so much so far about what Mark's learned? And Come to find out, they have a mortgage, and they want to get it paid off. Then what I do is I say, okay, well, my next question, how many houses, and I want you guys to write this down because this gives some perspective. How many houses would you need free and clear to quit your job forever? How many houses do you need to own free and clear so you can quit your job forever? Free and clear properties. How many so you can quit your job forever? And he looked at me and he was like, 10 would do the trick. So now I'm starting to paint a vision. Guys, only a couple minutes has gone by in the meeting, and I asked him this question, and he says, I want 10. So, okay, perfect. Well, here's why Bob Snyder is a genius. All right, and I showed him risk reward of personal development. All right, here's the risk, here's the reward. And there's quite a bit of risk in real estate, but even more reward. That's why we're going after it. Not that much risk in personal development, and the reward is just as big. So we're going to focus on both sides of this, Mr. Mark's dad. And I started to show him this. Just draw this out. Very simple. And then I said, all right, so here's the thing. Mark is a hard worker, but Mark has limited training. And then I showed him, I was like, here's the essentials. Here's the AIT. Mark has limited training. So what we're trying to do is get Mark the whole rest of the classes. So we're $18,000 short. He's already spent the $2,000. Right? Mark has already paid for this. We're looking for you to fund this. And here's the bonus. And listen to the phrasing. We said we would like you to fund this portion of it, and as a bonus, what we can do is assign you his learning partner for free. You can be his learning partner. You can have access to the training. You'll be the secondary on the account so that when something happens up at corporate, we'll still need the primary to call into the account. But you'll be the learning partner, which means you can take the training too. So Dad, while Mark is focused on building his business and doing fix and flips, you could be doing the goal thing that you wanted. Now it's going to be in Mark's name, no problem, but you'll get the training just like him. He can be focused on his fix and flips. You can be focused on your rentals. What do you say? Are you in? You got the $18,000? Who would pay for it? And he looked over at his wife, and he looked over at Mark, and they kind of said, well, you're doing this, and I think this looks great. I'm excited to get the house paid off. And they both looked at each other and said, okay, let's do it. Boom! Instantly. Pulled out my order entry device, put the upgrade order in for $18,000. I said, great, now how are we paying for this? And they said, oh, we'll mail in a cashier's check. I said, oh, that's what the family does. They just send cashier's checks. Okay. So they send cashier's check in for $18,000 over to corporate. $9,000 gets paid to me, and you know what I did is I made sure that Mike got the credit in his bucket for that, because it was a few weeks between when he found Mark and when Mark paid for his essentials, and then Mark got moved. But then once he upgraded, I went back and made sure I counted for Mike's bucket so that Mike could get 5-star. So now because I focused on the phrasing, the phraseology of you get a learning partner as an additional thing, not it's for 2 people, so let's go find your second person to pay. It changes the game entirely. Now the parents are in. I saw them at study groups last week. Mark is now in the fastest position when it comes to the marketing. So he's already bringing a friend in who's looking to get the combo, so now he'll be halfway to 5-star. It changed everything from the beginning when we looked at it as you get to assign a learning partner for free. And all this happened in less than a 1-hour conversation with the parents. All right, looks like we got some questions. Let's go over to the chat box. Wanda says, I heard Nicole saying that we should not charge learning partners. If the learning partner has $10K in their account, they should do their own. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the learning partner is is a learning partner. There's the secondary on the account, right? The customer, the person you're talking to, is the primary on the account, and so all the records should show that that person paid, and they assign themselves a learning partner. Okay, don't make the learning partner needing to have money as a part of closing the sale. Because when I focused on Mark and I focused up here on him getting in, what I did was I focused on his bright future. And because we were talking so much about his bright future, he was willing to introduce us to his parents who had the money. Okay, but I got to stay focused on the bright future if you want to have people with money come and keep talking to you. So it's not that we shouldn't charge learning partners. It's more than that. It's the position that we bring up the fact there is a learning partner, in that it's for someone who paid for an account and they get to assign some support. So here's what's cool. So after I showed the dad the earnings plan, I showed him the earnings plan. At first he was like, well, if you were me, what should you do? Because once he goes, oh, if I lend Mark the 18 grand, he'll get the bucket chop down to 27, and then he'll get his own 9,000 in there, right? So if I lend to Mark the money, this is what will happen. And then the dad was saying, so if I do that, what if I buy? What if I buy it myself? And I was like, well, that would be incredible. If you bought and you paid your own 20 grand, then Mark would be halfway to being 5-star if you did that. And he goes, okay, so what would that look like? So I showed him, I was like, basically, you would be on the same level as Mark. You would be direct to me. And Mark wouldn't be 5-star. He would have to pass you up. And then he looked at me and he goes, well, what would you do? What would you do if you were me and you knew everything? And he realized he didn't know every nuance. That's why he's just saying it. What would you do if you were Mark and this was happening? What would you do? And I said, well, Dad, tell me a little bit more about your background before I answer that. Tell me about your background. Tell me a little bit more about what you're good at. What do you get paid for? And he goes, oh, I'm in sales. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, I've been doing sales for 28 years. And I was like, okay, knowing this, knowing that you want to get the properties, knowing that you're also got this sales skill set, knowing that you have the money to be able to buy your own combo and Mark get his combo, here's what might work out great for you guys. Again, I'm not here to make a decision. I'm not here to make decisions. I'm just here to collect decisions. So here's what I said. I said, Dad, what if you went and found 2 people, or you and Mark worked together to fill Mark's bucket? So instead of it being Dad, I'm just going to cross that out because we're changing the idea. I don't want to erase it. Instead, what if we put A and B into Mark's bucket, and we got Mark 5-star? See, I'm painting this picture for Dad because I want this to happen fast. If this happens fast, how much does Michael make? If this happens fast, like this month, how much do I make? I make another $18,000 on the AIT side and $1,000 on the Essential side. Plus I got Mark's upgrade of $9,000. So I'd be looking at, $28,000 if we make this happen this month. So I'm inspiring Dad and Mark to work together to fill Mark's bucket. Hey, Dad, pay for Mark's education, and then both of you work together to fill it. Boom, boom. Now, once Mark becomes 5-star, once he's 5-star, then we'll have Dad buy from Mark. Then Mark will get his first $10,000 check. Dad will have his own bucket, $27,000. He'll have his own 9 in there. And then what he'll do is he'll put in 2. It will then go up to Mark. He'll pay Mark. If he does that, then we'll get an extra $1,000 every time. Once you're 5-star, Dad, when you make your $10,000, then your son will make an additional $1,000. So this is just an idea I'm proposing. What if, Mark and Dad, what if you guys did this? They looked at each other and they're like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. So then the next thing I say is, great. Who are these people? Tell me who they are. Let's get them in the system this week. So Mark gave me a name. Dad gave me a name. And now we're working with them. So we get them 5-star, or we get them their combos. Mark will be 5-star. Dad buys his combo next week. Now, what Dad jokingly said then is, he goes, well, wait, so if Mark gets the 10 grand, then he could just give it back to me. Yeah, well, it's your son. At that point, you can do what you want. So now what I've done, instead of just taking the 425 and calling it good and hoping Mark gets inspired, and instead of focusing so much on Mark's closing process that all I talked about was go get your money, get your money, get your money, I got him in the system. And then I figured out a way to say, hey, Dad, let's upgrade Mark. Your goal is to get real estate. Mark's goal is to get real estate. Well, he's got a very limited amount of education because of the essentials. You have the money. Why don't you become his learning partner for free? He's already got an account set up. We'll add you on. And because of all that, we're triggering. Because of all that, Mike is now 5-star. Because of that, Mark has his combo. And because Mark has his combo, he's talking to his war market in a more serious way. And now Dad has more skin in the game, so he's making sure Mark's at the meetings and making his phone calls. It created such a different environment of work and productivity, and everyone won along the way. And it had to do with the phrasing at the very beginning of bringing up the learning partner. So all you guys will be thinking about, think about some questions we can talk about. It looks like Zach just put one in here. So Zach says, why would the dad, buy another combo when he already has access to the account? So that's a good question, because of two things. One is it's mom and dad. Mom and dad were at the follow-up when I brought this up. So we had two people wanting to get the support. And then I brought up the fact that when we're doing the marketing, if they're each going to be 5-star, they'll make more money together as a family if dad has his own account. And because they have different goals, because dad has goals for rentals and Mark has goals for fix and flips, I told them that they're going to be working on different goals. They're going to be working with their coach differently, and they're each going to have 6 different coaching sessions. And that because they have independent goals for real estate, they should each get their account that way. But because of our marketing aspect, what if we put it together how I proposed? So once dad buys his own account, then the learning partner slot on Mark's account will be opened up. So then Mark could add his mom if he wanted to, or just leave it as is. But it's not, you guys got to remember, it's not a tool for closing the sale of now we're reducing your risk. What we're doing is we're using it to close the sale as in you get to work with someone, not you get to pay less. Okay, two different approaches. So what other questions do you guys have about that? That's a good question, Zach. What else would you guys like to know? Or can we clarify on this whole idea here? You guys can come off mute or type in your question. Or if you have a question that's not even related to this, if you got something else. This is what I wanted to share with you. Hopefully it made some sense, make some dollars. Start at the beginning. Don't let them have this attitude of let's go halvesies on it. That's not what it's for. Yeah, Zach, you got another question? You want to come off mute?
Yeah, Michael, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
My question was, I was talking with somebody and I was just confused about how if I have someone who starts with the essentials and then down the road upgrades to their combo, and I'm not yet 5-star, does that still apply to me as far as a combo sale if they are now, say, assigned to my enroller?
Okay, so here's your 5-star. Then we got Zach. I can spell your name correctly. Z-A-K, Zach. And then Zach made a sale, and this person bought an Essentials. This is Zach's 5-star. Zach, I'm assuming you have the combo. I guess it doesn't really matter for your question.
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. So what you're asking is, this Essentials person bought from you, but then got rolled up to your 5-star. So now they're up here. Well, they're not up there, sorry. They're just coded to your 5-star. So then when they upgrade and then they get their combo, does that also count to you, or does it go directly to the 5-star? Is that what you're asking me?
Correct.
Okay. So how it works is, once this person gets passed, right, you passed them up. Once they're passed, P-A-S-S-E-D, passed, not P-A-S-T, passed. Once you have passed this person on, they're no longer attached to you. The only way they can be attached to you to get any future benefit or compensation or anything is if you are 1 or 5-star. If you are not 1 or 5-star qualified, when you make a sale, that person gets passed on to the 5-star, so any future activity only goes to the 5-star. So if they upgrade and it's been several months down the road, that will only go to the 5-star. Now you can go talk to the 5-star, try to work something out, but by no means does the 5-star have to. Don't guilt them into it. Don't badger them. It's built into the comp plan this way. So if your 5-star doesn't want to, they're not a bad person, because that's how this was designed.
Okay.
But
I guess my
what I
question was
did
for qualification,
in this
though.
situation was, because Mark upgraded within 30 days, I still let that count for Mike's bucket. I didn't have to, but I went in and did it because, to me, I was getting paid the same. It was going to be the same for me, but if I knew Mike was 5-star, one, that would inspire more people on my team, looking around going, well, if Mike can do it, anybody can do it. And then also, I wanted to create more trust and show, hey, if you bring people, yes, if there's a month or so gap, that's different. Mark was working on getting the money. But if it's several months down the road, right, we've already moved on. And at that point, it's not going to count. It would just go to the 5-star. They would get their own bucket chop, right? Their bucket would look totally different, but you would be bypassed if it's been several months. That's the name of the game. Okay, what else would we like to get some clarity on? I brought up quite a few topics in sharing this whole idea. So what else would you guys like to know about before we hop off of this and go start smiling and dialing? It's almost time to start calling customers. 6 minutes for me, my world, before we get to call customers. All right, Wanda, what's up? I'll hear from Wanda, and then Simone, you're next.
Oh, yeah, Michael, this is Wanda. Just for clarification, I'm walking outside, so if you hear noises. The person who becomes the learning partner will be, if it doesn't become a business partner as well, then it will be under IMA earning plans.
Okay.
It will not be.
Ask your question again. You broke up.
That
Start from the beginning.
That the person who is learning partner,
Okay.
in order for them to work with the in the earning plan, they will be on the earning plan as an IMA only, unless they become business partner.
Right. They could be a learning partner, but then they would be, if they wanted to make money referring people, they would have to set up an IMA account, and then in the earnings plan, they would be in the path of IMA only. That's correct.
Exactly. And but if they want to share the stars, then they need to become business partner for $50.
Okay, you broke up. Say that again.
That then to share the stars, the 5 stars, then they need to become business partner for $50. Then is the combo, the X combo earning plan.
Yeah, technically, yes. And if someone is really committed to the earnings plan, then they should be getting their own account, right? There are people who come in as a learning partner because they're interested in real estate. So we got the primary, and then we got the LP, you got the learning partner, and this person's major interest is real estate and getting the knowledge necessary to learn how to do that stuff. Okay? That's a graduate's hat and a happy person. Knowledge. That's what they're here for. If they also want to do the earnings plan, then it's got to be get your own damn education, get your own account. If you really want to benefit from the earnings plan, you have to be a primary on your own. That's the conversation that I recommend you take. If they're here and they want to benefit from the education side and do real estate, great. But if they really want these $10,000 checks, they should be getting their own account. It's how responsible people do it. It's how business owners and CEO mindset do it. If at the beginning you needed to split the cost to get started, that's okay. But if they're taking the marketing seriously, let's figure out how we can get them their own primary account. That would be my recommendation. Okay, Simone, what's up? What's on your mind?
You mentioned that the learning partner slot opens up. Can you reassign that again?
You totally can.
You can?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I had a lady, and I don't recommend this because it's unique to each person's situation, but I had a lady who bought her a combo, assigned her brother as a learning partner, had him go through some classes, made him fall in love with it. And then once he fell in love with the program, he bought his own combo, opened up the slot on her account, then she assigned her next brother and said, hey, brother, check this out. This is what your other brother bought. So he was in for a few weeks, saw the program, bought his own, released that, and then she assigned her sister. So
wow.
Now it's working. Now the challenge with this program and this process is if someone doesn't buy, it totally kills it. Right now the sister is not buying her own, so now she's stuck in that slot. So you run the risk of putting people in there that won't buy their own. But yes, that is possible.
I never knew that. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. I'm being on the call today.
Michael, real quick.
Yes,
Can you hear
sir.
me? Hey, so I got started July 4th of last year, and I bought a combo. And I thought that at the time, if you want a learning partner, you have to bring them in at that time. Am I understanding that I can add a learning partner even now?
Yeah. Yep. You can go into your education tab, scroll down to learning partner, and it says assign learning partner right there. You can fill it out. They'll get their own login and password. Just remember, you can't change it once you put it in unless they buy an education from you.
I see. Wow.
Mike?
Cool. Exciting stuff. All right. Last question.
Michael?
LaShawn, what's up?
Yeah, and then to add a learning partner, it's $50?
No.
Say that one more time, I couldn't hear you.
There is no cost to add a learning partner. What Wanda was referring to was a business partner.
Got it.
And I think if someone is interested so much so that they want to be a business partner, they should just be their own account.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And I like the example you gave because I never even thought about talking to my son about it. So that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So thank you.
There you go. So look at that. We're creating sales. We're getting more done in this hour than some people get done all week. Woo! Yeah. It's exciting stuff, guys. All right. I got to hop on the pack call.
Thank you.
We got one last question. Okay. What's up?
Okay, if we're replacing somebody on as a learning partner, if they have an essentials, they need to get an essentials to get their own. If they're a learning partner on an X combo, can they get an essentials on their own? and be ready to go to work and do their own stuff, and that open up the learning partner slot? Does that have to be one for the AIT and one for the essentials as well? Is that
I think it has to be if the primary has a combo and then the learning partner gets assigned and then they decide to buy an essentials, then they will lose their access to everything else and just have an essentials, but then they can get started on their marketing plan.
And then
I'm
the
pretty
person
sure that's the case. I'll double check.
Okay, because then my understanding is then the person who is the primary could then say, okay, great, now I want another learning partner to come in and be, to be the learning partner for the full X combo.
Yep.
Okay, groovy. Thank you so much for clarity.
Yeah, that's exciting stuff, guys. I'm so glad we got some engagement. Hopefully this has given you some language tools to be able to go and make more sales. I'm sure there's some people you've been thinking about to go and involve in this. So make those calls, smile and dial. That contest is real. Let's do this. Let's go to France, guys. Get your passport. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. I love you.